Hi, and welcome to Cooking with Ken. Today we're going to learn about plantains or plantains. Plantains are a starchy fruit that is very high in potassium and fiber. There are two main ways we're going to prepare plantains today, and that's going to be Plantains Fritos, which is plantains fried, and Plantains Maduros, which is Plantains Maduros. Okay, plantains, you'll notice, come in a variety of colors. These right here are green. When they're green like this, they are more starchy, they're more firm and harder. These are best to use to make plantain chips. Now these are a little more yellow, a lot yellow, and they have a little bit of black to them. What happens is the starches start to break down and become more sugars, and these are best when you're cooking up maduros. Even more black would actually be better. And what happens is when you're cooking them, the sugar in them will caramelize, making them even sweeter and giving them that little bit of crunchy bite. And they're also good for guns. To prepare the plantain chips, first we must peel the green plantain. You cut off the ends. Now the difference between these plantains and bananas are these are very hard to peel. So you can score it by just cutting along with a paring knife. You don't have to cut into the flesh of the banana, the plantain. Just kind of score it to try to make it easier to peel. Once peeled, you're now ready to slice the plantain. You can use a knife and make nice, even, thin slices. Or you can also use what's known as a mandolin, not to be confused with the stringed instrument mandolin. This doesn't play very well. You can take it, and by swiping it through here, it is a lot faster, and you get even slices, and you're able to prepare your plantain chips a lot faster. Once your plantains are sliced, you can now put them into a bowl. Of course, making sure your hands are clean. Wash them with soap for a good 20 or 30 seconds. And then you want to coat them with a little bit of oil. I'm using olive oil. You'll want to put that on and toss these around so they're coated. Now, instead of frying these, you'll notice we're going to bake them. Baking is easier, you don't have the splatter from the oil, plus it is also more healthy. So what you're going to do is line them on a baking pan that has been covered with parchment paper. Once they're on your baking pan, coated with oil, you now want to sprinkle them with a little bit of sea salt. Once seasoned, you're now ready to place them in a preheated 350-degree oven. Now that they're in the oven, bake for about 15 to 20 minutes, and we'll come back in just a few and check on how these bad boys are doing. Once they're done cooking, you want to remove them from the oven, and they should be a nice golden brown and a little bit crispy. So now you've got a little bit of the sweetness, and now you got a bit of the saltiness. Makes for a perfect snack. Enjoy. Now that the plantain chips are done, we're moving on to the Plantains Maduros. These are my personal favorite. A lot of people will fix these and use them as a side dish or an accompaniment to part of their meal. I will show you how to prepare these, and it will be like dessert. These are gonna be super sweet and very delicioso. We will be cooking these in a hot pan of oil. You can use vegetable oil. I happen to like coconut oil. You could use whatever you prefer. These you'll want to cut in about 1-inch thick sections, and you'll want to cut them at a diagonal such as this. One thing you can do is coat these with a little bit of brown sugar before you fry them. You can just kind of roll them around, get a little brown sugar on there, and then we'll pop them in the oil. The oil I have has been heated up because you don't want to put them into cold oil because they will soak up the oil before they get done and they will turn into a very mushy mess. All right, we're going to add these to our hot pan now. You want to drop them in very carefully so don't burn yourself. And cook them for just a little bit, and then flip them over and cook them for a little bit more, usually just a minute or two per side. You'll want to flip them over when they're a nice golden brown. You can overcook them, but the more you do cook them, they do release a little bit more sweetness when they caramelize the sugars and the starches inside the plantain. So it's a very fine line. You just have to practice with it and tinker with it until you get what's comfortable for you. Now these are gonna be really mushy, so you gotta be careful, but you wanna take them out carefully and put them on a paper towel on a plate to get them to start draining the oil and drying off a little bit. With this next batch, I'm going to show you what I like to do. I will put them in without the brown sugar on them, but I will coat them with some brown sugar and cinnamon when they come out. I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, here I'm getting some brown sugar and some cinnamon, and I'm going to mix it together and get it ready. And when I pull out the plantains, I'm still going to dry them off for a bit on a paper towel, but then while they're nice and hot, I'm going to put them in here and roll them around just a little bit to get this on top of them. All right, these have drained for just a second. Now I'm gonna put these in there while they're hot, and we're gonna coat these around. The reason I like to do it this way is because if you cook them with the sugar already on them, you can burn the sugar and it doesn't taste very well. You lose a little bit of the yummy goodness. But this way, you're putting the sugar on after the fact, so you're getting them coated and extra sweet, but you don't have to worry about burning the sugar inside the hot oil. So try it however you like it. I'm gonna get off now and I'm gonna enjoy these yummos. So have a good day.